technical skills. You have years to fine-tune you've had years to actually fine-tune your essentially human skills, your empathy, your communication, persuasion, and problem solving. Just as you're facing a rapidly changing workforce, higher education has to embrace change or die. As you know, as we were just talking about, this class is the last class to graduate in what I would call the current version of the Bioscience Academy. We are here to celebrate the past successes of the Bioscience Academy as well as your personal success. As you heard, the Bioscience Academy was actually born out of the Great Recession, and due to the fact that we now have very low unemployment and a healthy economy, the federal and state funding has been withdrawn. In its 5 years, as you heard Connie said, we've been able to secure over 81% of the graduates' employment. It is a fabulous program serving a very diverse population. I mean, even in your class, you've experienced quite a range of diversity. Our graduates range from age 20 to 23, the youngest, to 67, and it spoke no less than 20 different languages. Only 57% of our graduates actually are native English speakers. The majority of these students came from 26 countries outside of the United States, and the classes have had equal gender representation. This is a true accomplishment. This is truly an outstanding program. We proudly sunset this program with this graduating class and eagerly await the next iteration. I would like all of the graduates of this class to stand up and give Connie and her team a thanks, hearty thanks, and applause for all the exceptional dedication in creating this program and delivering it to you. Now turn around and give your family who have supported you through this year your sincere. Now, Mike, you can sit down. Such power. Now my charge to you. You are part of the BU community now. Use us and continue to build your network. The knowledge-based jobs like biotechnology favor increased education and age and experience. So embrace this change, but most importantly, keep on learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev. The student speaker from this year's class is Savon Johnson. Savon has a bachelor's degree in health policy and administration, and he's worked in global affairs at Vertex. He also worked for 7 years for the American Liver Foundation as a grants administrator, and he's now working at Cambridge Biomedical as a quality assurance specialist. Savon.
Yes. So I was told I had 3 hours. I'll keep it short. You know? So I just want to say hello to everybody, and that it's great to see all of you here, my fellow classmates, the administrators, people from the advisory board, my mom, my friends in the back. It's so great to see you all. It's an ocean of smiling faces, but this is a stark contrast to what I witnessed during the first 2 semesters. Yes, there was people, fellow students with sweat on their foreheads, there was glazed over eyes, there was feet dragging to the labs. It was rough, but we made it through. And I'm including myself in these descriptions, of course. Yeah. But also, I just want to say that we all made it here through hard work, perseverance, and a thirst for knowledge, and most importantly, as Connie mentioned, to find meaningful and fulfilling employment in the life sciences. So I've already alluded to this, but last semester was action-packed. We had lectures, case studies, oral presentations, written assignments across a range of different scientific topics. We also had professional development seminars that provided us extremely helpful skills when producing our resumes, preparing for interviews, and understanding the importance of networking, as Dr. Brown mentioned. Now, I'm going to go through a small timeline of our journey in the BSA program. So, during the first 3 weeks, everything was new and fresh. I would come with my sharpened pencils, clean notebooks, wide-eyed and ready to learn. But by the end of the third week, I had realized that if I had any thoughts that this program would be a cakewalk, I was surely mistaken, and that it would be in my best interest to expunge those thoughts from my mind as soon as possible. Everything began to get intense. I started to become unfamiliar with the subject matter. I could only comprehend roughly 25% of what my instructors were talking about in class. Everyone was being assigned group projects and presentations. Quizzes and tests were emerging over the horizon. Reading assignments must be read unless your prerogative was to look utterly confused during class or like the thinker statue during an exam. You know, that looks like that, just sitting there, not knowing what to do. Yeah. I recalled Gloria's words on the bus ride home from the day she interviewed me for the program. She said, Savon, the program is very intense. Do you have friends or family to support you during the 2 semesters? At the time, I did not take that comment seriously. I had then learned that Gloria was serious that day, very serious. Now, it's the 7th week of the program, and everything is coming at me from all angles. PowerPoints, exams, quizzes, a maelstrom of work. However, through the storm, something began to happen. The concepts and materials from our classes began to merge. Connections in the materials corresponded with connections that I was making in my mind. Other students began to realize the same phenomenon. Slowly but surely, I could somewhat speak about our lab work as if I've done it more than the one time with our instructors, Masha and Monica. Something else started to happen. I started to feel a deep gratitude for the people with me in this program. And I started to think about how all of their lives, and how we all ended up together in this program, and how we could learn from each other's journeys. I wondered, what would their lives be like if the staff didn't work their hardest to make this program a reality? I thought about the people that may not have had the opportunity to experience what I'm experiencing in this program if it did not continue. I thought about my parents, my mother who's in the audience today. I thought about the people that built this building, the people that wrote the textbooks, the people that worked in the cafeteria downstairs. Then I realized the truth, that complaining was pointless. Staying up late at night or all night was not only a possibility, but a necessity. I knew that failure was not an option. In my last week, I felt like a new person. The old Savon was burned away and a new Savon emerged, like the phoenix. Looking at my classmates, I saw the same transformation that was occurring within them as well. We were fatigued, but battle ready for the world in front of us. Our resumes were crisp. We had the terminology down packed. We could calculate lab math with the greatest of ease. We could talk about the IPO of any biotech company in a clear and succinct manner. We had the knowledge, but now we needed the wisdom. What is the wisdom what is the wisdom applying what we learned into real world experience is what we've all been talking about since 10 a.m. Finding a job. Many of us here have secured internships or jobs. I've made lifelong friends. With people in this room. I believe that if I wished them nothing but success, that I would find it for myself. I believe this to be true as the sky is blue. I want to thank a few people from the bottom of my heart. Connie Phillips, Gloria Vicino, Patty Kellogg, Stefan Dorr, Masha Fritzkes Hurley, excuse me, I said her name already. Monica Stein Picarella, Dr. Carl Francois, Dr. Abdul Maged Traish, Emily Mason Orson, Dr. Beverly Brown, the BSA Advisory Committee, all former BSA students, and all the current BSA students.